Welcome, everybody. The New York Knicks just lost to the Atlanta Hawks 112-99. Terrible game, top to bottom. Let me just tweet that we're live right now. Give me 1 second. Chris, what's up, man?
Not much. Was enjoying the game early on, and then the third quarter happened. Very frustrating loss for the Knicks tonight.
Very frustrating loss indeed. This game was, to be honest with you, this game was an embarrassment for the New York Knicks. They had a 23-point lead in the second quarter. Then the coach of the New York Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, decides to yank the second unit. Obi Toppin was playing well again. I think he had 10 points in about 6 minutes. Manuel quickly was playing well in that second quarter. Second unit was balling out. They had the lead for they had a 23-point lead, Chris. And Tom Thibodeau decided, it's time for the bench unit to come out of the game. Let's bring in Julius Randle. Let's bring in all the starters again. And to me, it's just mind-numbing to go over this every single year and go through this every single year. And I do not understand what Tom Thibodeau's agenda is. I don't, man.
It's frustrating because, like you said, the bench unit was rolling. They had the game still under control. The energy was there, and then for whatever reason, let's pull them, put the starters back in, and sure enough, little by little, the energy wasn't there, and the lead just slowly went away.
Yeah, and it was the Hawks quickly, like you could tell the end of the second quarter, the Knicks were up 8, but you can tell the momentum switched in a blink of an eye. The starters, this is now the second or third game in a row where they're not clicking. I don't know what it is. RJ Barrett still being inefficient. Julius Randle had a good first quarter tonight, and then he just got away from it. He turned into bad Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson with another okay average game. I can go down the list. Mitchell Robinson did up some things, and it was just, to me, this was an embarrassing loss for the New York Knicks, and there's no way around it, and you can't get away from that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, any game where you're up 20 points and you have the momentum that they had, those would be games that you're winning. I understand it's the game of runs, but the game was fully under their control. And like you said, with the 8-point lead, the momentum was completely in Atlanta's favor. And I saw some things from Julius tonight that I was hoping I'd never see again. The body language, the head down. Granted, he wasn't lashing out at the refs because I could have swore he was going to get an attack, just explode and go go off on the refs or something, but that didn't happen. But he reverted to old Julius.
Yeah.
It was sad to see.
Yeah, and I'm going through the comments here. Leroy, what's up? What's up, people from Facebook? Shout out to y'all on Facebook. Shout out to you guys on YouTube who are watching. He says, let the youth run. Again, Thanks made a terrible mistake in that second quarter, putting in the starters, and it was, after that point, it was all she wrote, because the Hawks just, DeJounte Murray, there was no one on the Knicks stopping him. Another player that the Knicks could have got there in the summer, which now that's twice in back-to-back nights. Donovan Mitchell last game, DeJounte Murray tonight. It's just the basketball gods do not love the New York Knicks. And another comment, you don't lose these games at home.
Yeah.
That's what I've been preaching, right? I've been preaching take care of home court advantage, and we look like we were well on our way to winning our fourth straight in Madison Square Garden. 23-point lead. I went away from the TV, walked the dog, came back. I was like, what the hell? What just happened? And that's when I realized starters came back in, and I blame this loss on Tom Thibodeau. I mean, I don't know who you blame it on, but I blame this loss solely on Tom Thibodeau. And for Tom Thibodeau he gives the bench unit such a short leash. It's really unbelievable to me. Like, the starters can do no wrong. If the starters are playing poor, He leaves him in there. He leaves him in there for the full quarter sometimes. And it's like, dude, put in the bench. You need some energy. Quickly again tonight, consistent. Evan Fournier, I don't know what the hell Evan Fournier is out there doing. Like, he's just running, he's just doing cardio at this point. Like, I don't understand what he's doing. I don't. Please explain to me what Evan Fournier is doing.
Yeah, again, Evan Fournier. I feel like a broken record. It's almost every time I'm on here, I'm just picking on Fournier, but it's the truth. If he's not hitting shots for you, and he's not doing it at a consistent clip, it's just a liability. I feel bad because he's trying really hard out there to play defense, but he just doesn't have it. And one of the maddening things about this game, again, and we spoke about this earlier, was if Grimes was available,
Oh my
why
god.
not have Grimes in there to slow down Murray? No, let's just put him in with 4 minutes to go in the
Oh my
fourth when
god.
it's a meaningless game at that point. And yeah, I also blame this one on Tom Thibodeau, and I just feel like he didn't have a pulse for the game, the flow of the game.
No, I agree with you, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like, Quinta Grimes coming to this game was available. Tom Thibodeau before the game said he was a situational player, and the Knicks would need him. I mean, you don't think that uh, Dejounte Murray is cooking you all game. Trae Young wasn't really doing anything, but Dejounte Murray couldn't be stopped. And they kept putting Evan Fournier on Murray. They even put RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's defense, I don't know where it went this season. He's
Yeah.
slow. He's not looking like a good defender this season. I don't know what's up with RJ, but the Knicks as a team are not playing well defensively at all. And Dejounte Murray took over that pretty much third quarter, and that's all she wrote. I mean, if you're going to tell me that Quentin Grimes was available and the Knicks are currently getting blown out by X amount of points, you're going to put him in towards the end of the game after he's coming off a foot injury, please explain that to me, Tom Thibodeau. Like, that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they put him in during the preseason, he got hurt. They put him in now, he's available. They put him in on a blowout. You should have used him earlier in the game. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. And it's mind numbing. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely could have used him on Murray, and you saw late in those last 4 minutes there was, I think, one possession when Murray tried to do his isolation pick and roll, and Grimes played it perfectly, made a miss. We could have used that over and over and over again. But, but I don't know. Tibbs is Tibbs, and you know what? He's an NBA coach, and I'm not. So maybe we're not seeing something, but it sure as hell looked to me like it just wasn't a good coaching night for him.
Yep. And as we're doing this post game, Donovan Mitchell's currently taking over the Cavs versus Boston game. But whatever, right? Yeah, so it all changed in that second quarter. I mean, we can go to his box score. Yeah, this isn't pretty. I'm gonna let you guys know right now. This box score is not pretty. Like I said, the second quarter, the Knicks let the gas off the pedal defensively. They gave up 36 points defensively to the Hawks. Third quarter, they got outscored 32 points to 10. The Knicks only scored 10 points in that third quarter. They actually came out of halftime, made their adjustments, and only were able to drop 10 points coming out of halftime. At that point, I don't understand why Thibodeau stuck with the starters. I don't understand why he didn't go to the bench unit quicker than he. I mean, he never. I shouldn't say quicker than he normally does because he normally sticks with the starters 80% of the period, and he goes to the bench unit towards the end of the period. But I mean, Chris, they outscored us 32 points to 10 points in that third quarter. Like, uh,
That was embarrassing. I mean, and I guess that's kind of a knock with Tibbs is that we've heard it before. A lot of people complain. Also, it's like he doesn't make any adjustments. He just sticks to that same old script,
mm-hmm.
ride with the starters, and it's just this was a game where he just needed to play the bench, really, in my opinion. Play the bench unit. They had it going. As soon as you put the starters back in, they didn't have it. Let them rest some more. Maybe they were still tired. They were playing at a ridiculous pace
Yeah.
when we got that 23 point lead. They could have easily gotten a couple of, extra minutes of rest, but, you know,
Yeah.
Tibbs is
Um,
I
they're
don't
just
I don't know
stubborn,
what they're
man.
doing.
And there was a lot of cry on Twitter to get him out of here, but it's still early, so whatever, man. I mean, it's been happening for years now, so yeah. Knicks box score, highest score was Jalen Brunson, 20 points, 8 of 15, but like he put 20 points up, but it wasn't really in the flow of the game. Like it was more towards the end of the game. Another okay game out of Brunson. Evan Fournier is just running cardio out there at this point, just collecting his calories, just burning his calories. Sorry, on his Fitbit. I don't understand. Like I really don't get it, Chris. Like I mean, yeah, well, he's out there for shooting, but
Yeah, one for
whatever.
four doesn't cut it.
Yeah,
One
I
for
mean,
four from three is just
Emmanuel quickly. Emmanuel quickly had 16 rebounds tonight and 11 points. He had a double double. Emmanuel quickly had 16 rebounds tonight. Emmanuel quickly has been the most consistent player of the New York Knicks these past 5 games. And whether that's look, in my opinion, you have to. I would insert Emmanuel quickly into the starting lineup. I would bench Evan Fournier, insert Emmanuel quickly in that starting lineup. Give the starting lineup a little boost because the starting lineup needs a little boost. Because I think yes, you're gonna be small with IQ and Jalen Brunson, but hey, you're on a 3 game losing streak now, and you have 2 games coming up that are very tough. I mean, you need to inject some life in your starting lineup, and I think Emmanuel quickly can provide that spark that you need. I really do.
I
So,
agree.
yeah,
I agree 100%. I think that'd be a good move to make just to shake things up. Granted, it's not really Tibbs' style, but I agree. And now with Grimes back, and if he's healthy with no pain, you can slide him into quickly spot off the bench. He can
yeah.
come out the bench with Rose,
There you go.
and that's a good look too.
No complaints from me on that. Derrick Rose, he actually came in the game in the first quarter because Jalen Brunson got in foul trouble in the first quarter. Rose was in there, and no complaints out of Rose, even though his shot wasn't falling. He was doing little things out there. Isaiah Hartenstein, this was his first bad game as a Knick. He was letting the Hawks out rebound him. Like he couldn't grab a rebound tonight to save his life. But iHeart has been consistent for the Knicks, so I don't want to rag on iHeart. Cam
Yeah,
Reddish, I mean, another bad game for Reddish, Chris.
yeah. I mean, I had that great game, and then
Yeah,
it's it's just growing pains. The guy doesn't get he's getting some play now, and he has to make the most out of it, but he does make some
yeah,
own headed plays that drive you insane.
yeah.
Like,
His shot was kind of off tonight. He was shooting he didn't have an arc on his shot. He was shooting kind of like a line drive shot.
yeah, it's like he was aiming it.
Yeah, Obi Toppin came in his game second quarter, 10 points. He had like 10 points in 6 minutes, dominated, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then he got subbed out for Julius
yeah.
Randle in that second quarter. And after that, that's all she wrote because I feel like that was the basketball guys telling Top Thibodeau, like, look, why are you doing this? Like, it's stupid at this point. Like, it messes up the rhythm. Obi was in rhythm. Everyone was in rhythm in that second quarter, right? Everybody was playing well, and then Thibs pulled the plug too soon. There's no explaining it.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
And that's the most frustrating thing about it. You got players that are hot, they're in rhythm, they're playing well, and then you yank them, and by the time you put them back in, they're cold.
They're
They've been
cold.
sitting, and I feel bad for Obi. It's like the second he makes a mistake when he gets put back in, he gets yanked again. His leash is so short. It's
Yep.
very unfair. It's frustrating,
Yep.
especially when you got Randall moping and not playing defense, and it's just
It's
tough
bad,
to
man.
see Obi have 18 minutes to Julius's 30 on a night where Julius just didn't have it
Yeah.
at all.
Actually, in the chat, this is panic in time. I wouldn't panic 7 games in. I mean, there's some concerns. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm not just not going to brush that over. There are definitely concerns with this team. RJ Barrett, for one. I mean, yeah, he put 19 points up, but defensively, not the same. His shooting is not efficient, and he just looks slow. And he looks a step slow, and he's just not doing anything special out there. Yeah. Oh, I mean, Julius Randle he has taken a step back from his first 4 games. He's turned into 4-12. And what's the one thing I've said about Julius Randle that I hate, Chris?
Spin moves in the paint.
Spin moves in the paint and him shooting 3-pointers. When he
Yes.
shoots 3-pointers, they're missing every single time. They're bricks. He thinks he's a great 3-point shooter, and he's not. I think for the year he's shooting like, let me look this up, but he's shooting like a 24% from 3 this year. Like, you're not a 3-point shooter at all.
I almost rather have him take those longer mid range jumpers. At this point, I just feel Julius and RJ both need to really tone down the 3-point attempts.
Yeah, they do. Ramon in the chat, garbage team, garbage garbage coach. Appreciate the comment, Ramon, as always. Yeah, man. Overall, not a. I mean, who do you blame this game on tonight?
I got to go with Tibbs, 100%, because again, he's just I just feel those substitutions, whatever this rotation was, it just wasn't it for this night. Not when you had the type of control you had. The momentum was all in your favor, and you just why yank the bench? They were playing so well. Why yank them and put in the starters? And then even then, put in the starters. If you see they don't have it, adjust. Don't let them choke away the entire lead.
Yeah. I blame Tom Thibodeau too. He really. You got another comment. Coach doesn't make any adjustments. Bench got the lead, and he doesn't go back to them. Very frustrating. Look, appreciate the comment, Dean. This has been happening for years now. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse at this point. I mean, we're hoping for change, but Tom Thibodeau, whatever he sees, whatever the Knicks analytic department sees that we're not seeing, I mean, it just my eye test and every Knicks fan's eye test in that second quarter, you lost the game, man. Right there. You had the game. You could have put the pedal to the metal. You could have put your foot on their throat, went up by even 30 maybe, and they closed the half on a run there. DeJounte Murray, credit to him. He played really well tonight. I believe he had 6 steals tonight. I mean, he's a great player. And Trae Young was out for most of the second half due to his eye being poked by Randle. So the Hawks, they didn't impress me tonight at all. Like, the Hawks don't impress me. And that's the frustrating thing. Like, for the Hawks to, like, win this game and, like, come into MSG, and this reminded me a lot of last year. And I don't know, it brought back flashbacks that I don't like.
Same here. Just because it's the Hawks, obviously, I wanted to win. The fact that again we were up big was making it feel. I was having a fun time. I was having a fun time, and then slowly but surely, and I even think Clyde said it during the game. He was explaining how teams get these big leads, and they let their foot off the pedal, and they end up choking it away. And sure enough, as he was explaining it, it happened.
Blame Clyde.
No, I just think that's how great he is. He saw it coming.
He sees it coming.
And why can't Tibbs?
I don't know. I mean, I guess. Look, this is why Tom Thibodeau has been around the league a bunch of times, man. I mean, some people can't handle it. Some people can. Cash Money on YouTube. Appreciate the comment. Pacers and Jazz have more talent than the Knicks and are restarting. We need to restart the rebuild. See, I haven't really done it. I wouldn't say the Pacers. Jazz are playing well right now. I mean, got to give credit to the Jazz. I mean, they have a boatload of picks, and it's just look, they're in a rebuild, and I believe they're like 6-1 or 7-1, something like that. Pacers are playing well. It's frustrating. This was a winnable game, very winnable game for the Knicks, and tough, tough. Another comment in the chat. Tough loss. Tough loss. Knicks were lazy with the rock. Dibs rotations are trash. Echoed. We got a lot of holes to fix, but it's still Knicks all day. Yeah, man. Cameron, it's still Knicks all day. But like you said, we got a lot of holes to fix because
We do.
if they're going to continue to play like this throughout the season, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It really is, because I thought this was a season that will maybe crack the top 6. We got our point guard now, Jalen Brunson. Everything was looking good. We started 3-1. Everyone was rolling. And then we hit this stretch. We're now 0-3 in this damn stretch. We lost against the Bucks. We lost against the Cavs. And now we lost against the Hawks. And now we have Boston and Philly coming up.
Yeah.
Doesn't get easier.
Yeah, no, granted, we knew this was going to be a difficult stretch for them, but again, 20-point lead. This one was in the bag. This one should have been a W for us.
Yeah, this should have been a W. Yeah, I'm just so like mad and upset. I really don't get it. Like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right? And Tom
Right.
Thibodeau keeps doing the same thing over and over again. He has to be insane. If he's expecting a different result, but it doesn't happen, but he has to be insane because it's not working. Like, Obi Toppin playing, how many minutes did Obi Toppin play tonight?
I think 18.
Again, capped out at 18. There's if you haven't already, check out the video I released last night. The Knicks are failing Obi Toppin, and this is his 3rd year now, and it continues. The ball continues. They're just kicking the can down the road in with Obi Toppin. They're just kicking the can down the road. Granted, they have Julius Randle. They don't want to play him besides Julius Randle. We've heard this feel before from Tom Thibodeau. Whether you like it or not, I don't like it, but like you have to wonder, like, is Obi Toppin going to like request a trade? Like, that scares you, right?
That's actually what scares me. I wanted Obi Toppin when he was drafted 8th. I was expecting him to go top 4, and he landed on our laps. And yeah, maybe he didn't bust out of the gates right away, but he's a good player and he needs more minutes. And just the thought of him requesting a trade or being traded, it'll be the usual Knicks trade where he becomes an all-star somewhere else.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yeah,
That would be terrible.
I would hate it.
What up, Knicks Nation? What are we doing about this coach? Our roster's oddly built, and there's a lot of egos that don't match the talent. What are we doing about this coach? I came into this season saying that I think this is a critical year for Tom Thibodeau, and so far the Knicks are 3-4, and they're not playing well. And you already got fans calling for his head. You already got fans saying fire Tom Thibodeau, and I'm not gonna say if I agree with it or not, but he's not making a case for him staying here. I can tell you that. He continues to do his same shenanigans, and it's not working, and it's just frustrating. Because the reason why I don't want to fire Tom Thibodeau, Chris, is like, I feel like we just keep going down the same path. Like, every few years, it's like, fire this coach, and then we have to restart, and then fire this coach, and then restart. Like, I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, that's the same old Knicks type of deal where it was the coach every other year basically. And
Yeah.
while we got some stability now, it is frustrating because what if the voice is just not getting through anymore,
Yeah. And yeah, especially you have Manuel quickly playing well, Obi playing well, the bench playing well. It could be not getting, like, the players could be over it, right? And that's what you're afraid of. You don't want
Right.
that to happen, but Ramon T in the chat says every year. Uh, he also says, I know it hurts. I believe Ramon is a Laker fan, so I know this season hurts for you as well. So
A few seasons have been hurting.
Cash Money. I just say fire Thibs because he's not a rebuild coach. But the Knicks aren't rebuilding. Like, you signed Jalen Brunson, you have all this money tied up into Jalen Brunson, Fournier, Randall. You have, like, you're not rebuilding. You're telling us by having your cap tied up, signing JB, you're not rebuilding. You're trying to win. So,
Yeah. Granted, Brunson is young, but they're
yeah,
going to get to the playoffs.
they're trying. Yeah, and they should, like, they damn sure should be a playoff team. Because if they're not a playoff team,
Not if they keep playing the way they played tonight. I mean,
yeah, I mean, this Hawks team just got blown out by the Raptors by 30 the other night, by the way.
yeah.
And they were well on their way to getting blown out again by the New York Knicks. And didn't happen. So, yeah, frustrating loss for the New York Knicks. Once again, they lose 112-99. They fall to 3-4 on the season. I can go through their schedule. Their next game is on Friday, I believe, at Philadelphia at 7 p.m. Then they have Boston. Then they're at Minnesota. Then they're at Brooklyn. So another 4 tough games coming up. I mean, like, could you imagine if they actually lose all 4 of these games coming up and they're on a 7-game losing streak? And the New York Knicks are going to home versus Detroit 3-8.
Like, Tibbs better not be there if that's the case.
That's not. If the Knicks are 3-8 in a hole like that early on in the season, that's, man, oh man.
That's
Knicks
a nightmare.
Nation.
That's a nightmare.
That's a nightmare, man. And we're gonna be like, here we go again, right? And it's, yeah. I mean, it's frustrating.
At that point, you start Obi and Cam.
And trade everybody. Hopefully, Evan Fournier would be off this team.
I'd have to. I mean, what do you think? I have to say, if Grimes is healthy, Fournier should not see the floor much.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
He should at this point. I mean, he's done almost nothing.
I mean, he hasn't. The more we're in the chat, GG Knicks Nation, GG man. Yeah, are you a Hawks fan? Yeah, you're a Hawks fan. Good game, good game.
Good
DeJounte
game,
Murray is a killer. I'll tell you that. He killed us tonight, but yeah. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What did you say again?
Fournier, he shouldn't see the floor if there's a healthy Grimes.
If it's a healthy Grimes, Evan Fournier should be starting, or Emmanuel Quickley should be starting. I mean, Evan Fournier. Grimes should be starting. Evan Fournier should be. They got to trade him. Like, he doesn't fit on this team, and you have Grimes who could shoot, IQ who's growing, and he's a young ascending player, and he needs time to develop. And I don't want to see Emmanuel Quickley go through the same thing Obi Toppin's going through. It seems like Tom Thibodeau likes to play Quickley more than Obi throughout these years, but I just don't want to see that happening. It seems like you're stunting the growth of your youth. That's basically what you're doing.
Yep, definitely Obi's for sure. It's just mind-boggling, but yeah, for whatever reason, Quickly, I believe, Tibbs trusts him to the point where I think he played 30 minutes tonight, and we needed every single one of those rebounds, considering Tibbs decided to pull Mitch and never put him back in.
I know. Shout out to Emmanuel Quickley. He's been rebounding the hell out of the ball lately. Yeah. There was a few rebounds tonight where he went up there and actually got it. I was like, okay, IQ.
I think he ripped a couple away from my heart. I was like,
okay, boy, getting after it.
He had a really good game.
Yeah, echo what you said. Grimes should be starting. It was an absolute disaster why Quentin Grimes came in his game towards the end of the game. You say he's available, then you put him in a game during a blowout. He has a foot injury. It just makes no sense. Like, why risk another injury for Grimes? We need Grimes. It's clear that we need Grimes because it's clear that we need him. Look, you held him out of trade talks, what report you want to believe or not. Grimes needs to play along with Obi and IQ. That's your nucleus. And Barrett needs to get it together because Barrett, he's putting up numbers, but they're not. The eye test isn't showing it this year. He's not looking good.
He needs to stop shooting threes, tone it down. Maybe from 6 threes, take three. In the flow of the game.
Yeah.
I just feel he's trying to force it too much. Just trying to I guess, prove people wrong that I can shoot. I can shoot. Well, you're not proving anybody wrong right now. Just do what you do. Give the effort on defense, and hopefully he doesn't fall into one of those what I call superstar defense, where you assume the position of defense and you just don't move. Because
Yeah.
I've seen it way too many times.
Shot a G in the chat. A good jockey ride any horse and win a race. Dibs can't coach young talent. He hasn't shown it, and it's been years now, and it's frustrating. And I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. But he's our coach. Like I said earlier, I don't want the Knicks to go through a carousel ride of head coaches again. I don't want to go down that path again as a fan. The game was out of hand, and this crazy coach put Grimes in the game for what? He should be fired. Yeah. I mean, when I saw Quentin Grimes come in and they were down 20 like in the fourth quarter, I was like, bro, are you serious right now? You really going to put Grimes in now? We could have used him in the damn second, third quarter when DeJounte Murray was blowing us out and balling. And now you want to put in Quentin Grimes? Like, come on, bro.
Right away. He guarded up Murray and made him miss a shot.
He locked him up, right?
Yep. It's frustrating. It's
Get Steve Nash.
Get Steve Nash.
Nah, I think we're good on that. We'll pass on Steve Nash. He got his shout out to Steve Nash getting out that situation out of Brooklyn. It's a disaster over there, over the Brooklyn Bridge. But yeah, we'll be back at it on Friday. Hopefully the Knicks can bounce back. 76 is coming up. Another tough game. Got to get back on track. Yeah, if you haven't already, check out my previous video about Obi Toppin, about the Knicks are failing him. Another game of just disaster out of the Tom Thibodeau. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. I really don't.
Make some adjustments, please. Please. Play the youth longer. Especially when they're rolling. Play them.
Yeah, especially when they're rolling. Play them. Yeah. If you haven't already, hit that like button, please. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. That is Chris. Have a good night, y'all. And we'll see y'all guys on Friday. Peace.
Peace.